What's up everyone, Developer Gus here, ready to make your CSS way cooler. Today we're going to learn how to add multiple properties to your CSS rules and create different styles for different elements. No more boring single color text. Remember that basic CSS rules we made last time? Then let's make it way better. Instead of just changing the color, we're going to make our text do a bunch of things at once. So open up that styles.css file and update your h1 rule to look like this. Font size 30 pixels, font family courier, and text align center. So as you can see what we did on the right side, we took our basic rule and added 3 more properties. Now our heading is blue like before, a font size of 30 pixels. We are using the courier font and the text is centered on the page, as you can see. So once you save this file, the styles.css file, you'll see the changes on your browser. Now here's where it gets fun. We can style different HTML elements completely differently on the same page. So in your index.html file, add a paragraph under the heading, just like this. So right now that paragraph looks boring because it doesn't have any CSS rules. Let's fix that. Let's go back to the styles.css file, type a p selector. So we're selecting the paragraph tag, which right now in our index.html file there's only one. And we're going to start writing some properties of color green, font size 20 pixels, font family Arial with Helvetica as a backup, and the last backup, if the Helvetica font doesn't load, is a sans serif font, and text align. These paragraph, any text is automatically text align left. So let's center it as well. So once I save this file, you can see, well, while I was typing, you could see the changes. But in your case, if you don't have the live preview extension on Visual Studio Code, you would need to save the styles.css file or any file to see the change in the browser. So now that we saved the index.html and styles files, and we can see on the browser a huge blue heading at the top. Well, not so huge because I added a font size of 30 pixels. And we see a smaller paragraph tag, smaller than the heading, of course, below the heading, right? So this paragraph tag is below the heading, and we added various properties and values to the paragraph tag once we selected it, of course, inside of the styles.css file. So both the heading and the paragraph are centered, but they look totally different because they have their own CSS rules. This is the power of CSS. You can style every element exactly how you want. So let's try adding more heading elements. For example, we're gonna write another heading, H2, and an H3, and an H4. Save the index.html file, goes back to the styles.css file. Under the H1 selector, I'm gonna write the following. I'm gonna write color red, font size 45 pixels, H3 color purple. Sometimes GitHub Copilot just messes with your coding. Font size 40 pixels. And the last one is H4. Color green. Font size 35 pixels. And you can see the changes in your browser as well once you save the styles.css file. So once you create a CSS rule for an element, like an H1, H2, H3, H4, or a paragraph tag, among many others, every single one of those elements on your page will automatically use those styles. Add 10 more paragraphs, they'll all be green and centered. Add 5 more H1 headings, they'll all have the color blue, font size 30 pixels, etc. So that's the beauty of CSS. Write once, you can style everywhere. So if this main styles.css file was being used on multiple pages and not only on the home page, they would also get these properties and values on the other pages. So today we learned how to add multiple properties to one CSS rule, how to style different HTML elements with different rules, and how CSS automatically applies styles to all matching elements. Drop a like if this helped you out and let me know in the comments what you want to learn next. Keep coding.